this is Shannon with Carrington Page Designs, and I'm going to show y'all how to attach knit binding. I'm actually working with swim knit right now. I'm using our Shelby pattern, and I've modified it some, which you can find on our tutorial how to do this, on our blog tutorial, sorry. But I am modifying this to be a swimsuit for my daughter. So I've shortened the leg length a little bit, and then I've added lining in here. So I'm going to be attaching it, the second piece of binding, to my second leg opening. What I have done is I have memory pressed my binding piece here. What that does is it creates this grid line. You can see these fold lines in here. So I press this just like I would if I was making like a woven bias, but I do it before I have sewn the short ends together, so I make it one long big piece. So what I do is I press it, so you're going to fold it in half and then open that up, fold one side in towards the center, fold the other side in towards the center, and then that gets folded in on itself, and you have 3 folds, one on the outside, 2 on the inside here. So once you've got that pressed, then you would sew your short ends together, and there you have your binding piece. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be working on the inside of our short first. So I am going to attach my right side of my binding to the wrong side of my shorts with that seam right there at the crotch seam. So I'm going to line those up right there, and then I am going to continue to sew. I apologize if you hear the cat in the background or any kids or anything else, because this is real life, y'all. I have a family and I have a kid, multiple kids right now at the house, and so it stays loud around here. I'm going to find the piece, the edge opposite my seam on my binding piece, and just mark it with a pen, and then I'm going to come over there and attach it to the outside seam, and then I'm going to just kind of stretch to make this fit. Can be a little difficult to work with swim fabric if you're not used to it, because it's super slippery and it likes to move on you and stretch around and everything, but once you get the hang of it, it's really fun. My girls love when I make them custom swimsuits. They get really excited over that. So my older daughter's sitting over here and she's like, I love it when you make me stuff. So this bathing suit's actually going to be for my younger daughter, who just turned 8, because we realized that she has outgrown her other swimsuit. So, and I had just enough of this fabric. I'll show you the top fabric is amazing, and it has unicorns and fun colors. So we had just enough left of that fabric to have fun with it. Make her a new swimsuit. So, all right, we are all pinned. I recommend, if you're not used to using swim knit, pin, and when you think you've pinned enough, you haven't, and go ahead and pin some more. Personally, I'm a lazy sewer and I don't like to pin, so I use the bare minimum. But I've been working with swim knit for quite a while, so I'm kind of used to it by now. All right, so we're going to sew, and I'm using my lightning bolt stitch right here. It's a good stretch stitch. I've also got another stretch stitch, or you can use your zigzag. But you need that stitch to be able to stretch with the fabric, so do not use a straight stitch. So I'm just going to sew right here in between this fold line and the edge. Trimmed my nails so I can't grab onto my needles now. And I apologize if the Camera is shaking since it's right in front of my machine. So you're just going to sew all the way around this edge here. Doesn't take too long. And this will give you the same binding result as if you were to just sandwich it in between that bias edge there. It'll give you the same look, but it's just a little bit easier way to attach it. So you don't have to worry about maybe not stitching through the back of your bias or sorry, your binding, or skipping stitches or anything like that. This just kind of attaches it a little bit better there. So, but either method is acceptable. So I am almost done attaching my bias. It's going to be time to change my needle soon. Might be my chair. Might be my chair. Okay, so my binding has been sewn on to the inside of the leg, and I also trimmed that seam allowance down until it's about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitch line. It just helps us reduce the bulk when we fold it over. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to flip it to where we're working with the outside of the fabric. We're going to fold this top fold down, raw edge down towards the center, and then we're going to fold it again. And this is where that memory pressing comes in hand. It makes it so much easier to fold that in on itself when you have those fold lines. So we're just going to repeat this all the way down the leg until we've got it all folded and pinned. You want to make sure that you're folding it over the stitch line here, so it needs to cover that so it doesn't show. And even though I am usually a lazy pinner, when I'm folding this, I do tend to pin a little bit more. So this is what the inside of the leg's going to look like. It's going to have that folded edge right there too. So we're just going to continue folding and pinning until we're all the way done. Okay, we've got our binding pinned around the entire width of our leg opening. There's the inside. So now we're going to sew it. Again, using that zigzag stitch that we just used. And you want to be real careful that as you're moving your pins, your binding doesn't shift and expose that seam that's on the inside of it. So I like to wait until I'm almost directly on top of my pin to remove it, just to be safe. And there goes the other cat. done. Sewing on our binding. Alright, so we're going to clip our little threads here because threads drive me crazy. I do not like having loose threads anywhere. Okay, let me scoot this back here and you can see that our binding is now sewn on. This is what it looks on the outside, and on the inside you're going to have it sewn on there as well. So we now have our little Shelby swim shorts. And they're all finished. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and check back more for more videos. Take care.